Hello students, let's read the problem. And it says, which of the following statements about the triangles below is true? So we have some triangles, right? And I do notice that most of them have numbers, right? Oh, except for the last one, it has an X. Do you see the last one as an X? Right here. Okay, so before we go into the statements, what about if we find the value for X? Okay, now there is a theorem that states something about the exterior angles and the interior angles of a triangle, right? So one of the things that you are gonna need to understand is which one are my interior. Think about inside, okay? These are my angles on the inside. Okay, now I do see an angle on the outside, right? And I'm gonna go ahead and highlight the one that is outside for all of them right here, right? Because there is a special relationship between the angle that is outside and two angles that are inside the triangle, okay? But the two angles that are inside the triangle are not gonna be next to the one that I highlighted outside. So for example, for the first one, 44, I'm not gonna highlight it because it's right next to it. I need to highlight the other angles. We call these remote angles. Remote angles are angles that are not next to the one that is outside that we're looking at, okay? So on the next one over here, I am gonna highlight what, 51? Do I highlight 97? No, because 97 is right next to 83, okay? So nope, I need to highlight 32. Okay, let's go to the third one on the bottom left. I'm gonna highlight 35. Which one do I highlight after that one? 31? No, right? Because 31 is right next to 149. So the one that is further away is the one that I highlight. Are we getting the idea now? Okay, what about the last one here? If I highlight 42, that angle, would you highlight angle S from there? No, because it's right next to X. I need to highlight the one that is further away. Okay, and there's a special connection between those angles. And let's see if we can read the statement. Remember, it's very important. A lot of the times students say, Miss, I cannot memorize things on math. And honestly, that's not true. There's a lot of things that you need to memorize definitions because they can help you answer some questions. For example, this definition, right? It says, the sum, what does it mean by sum? When I do what? When I add the what? The remote interior angles. I'm going to highlight this one green because I want you to go back and say, oh, you mean all the angles that I highlighted green? Yes, those are your remote interior angles. It says it's equal, right? So it means an equal sign to the non-adjacent exterior angle. And I'm going to highlight this blue because the ones that I highlighted blue, the angles, those are basically my non-adjacent exterior angles. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, it means that I need to add the ones that are green, right? The ones that they are my remote angles. So what do you guys know about this angle though? It has no number. Well, very good. I hope you remember that that means a 90-degree angle. So I am going to add 90 plus 46. And that's going to give me 136. Isn't that the answer that I got? 136? Very good. But now I'm wondering about that 44. Is that 44 correct? Anybody remembers anything about a line that looks like this? And those two angles together? Anyone? These are called supplementary angles, and it's equals to 180, right? Or you can decide. If I add all the angles inside a triangle, okay? So I'm going to say the sum of the interior angles of a triangle, and I put symbols, that's perfectly fine. So the sum of the interior angles of a triangle is equal to 180. Do you remember that one? Right? Equals 180. So that means that we added 90 plus 46 and we got 136, right? So let's go ahead and subtract 180 minus the 136. Guess what we get? 44, right? Which is this number that is on the next to the 136. Is that right? Because remember that you add up those numbers and it's supposed to be 180. Okay? So look at the one that says 97. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to add 51 plus 32. Right? And that gives me 83. And that's true because look, that's the number that I have. 83 and 83. So let me go back over here. And this 136 is the one that we had outside. Okay? So it's true. I can add up those two angles and it gives me the 83. But now we're going to take it one more step. 180 minus the 83 gives me what? 97. Isn't that 97 the one that is on the inside? Right? Because it's also part of the angles on the inside. And if you add 83 plus 97, guess what? You should get 180 because that's another theorem that talks about supplementary angles, okay? But I'm not going to go there. So let's go to the next one. 114 plus 35, right? That gives me 149, which is the one that we have outside. So we're good, right? But now we're going to subtract 180 minus 149. And let's see what you guys get. Didn't you get 31? Exactly. And that 31 is the one right next to the 149. Right? So let's do the last one. Again, there's a right angle here, which I know means 90 degrees. Right? So we need to add 90 plus 42. And that gives me 132 degrees. So this angle outside is equals to 132 degrees. Right? Now, what about S? What do you guys know about S? Well, we said that I can subtract 180 minus the 132 because remember that the angles inside the triangle is also equals to 180. Okay? And that will give me 48. Is that right? So, angle S is equals to 48 degrees. And that is my inside angle. Okay? So now let's look at the answer choices. It says X is equals to 132. So that is true. But then look what it says here. It says because X is equals to S. Is that true? Is X and S the same? No, they're not. They're two different measurements. So no, A cannot be my answer. It says X is equals to 42. No, I can see that it was supposed to be 132. Letter C, it says X degrees is equals to 132 because X plus S is equals to 180. So I'm going to look at this and let's see if it's true. It says X plus N. So I'm going to add 132 plus 48. And yeah, it is true. It's equals to 180. Remember I said about supplementary angles equals 180? And so that is true. And then it says, and the measurement of the angle S is equals to 180 minus the sum of these two angles, which is what we did over here. So that's true, right? Then X is equals to 180 minus S. And that's 132. So yeah, letter C should be my answer, right? And the last one says X is equals to 138. No, it's not 138. Okay, so my answer for this, it is going to be very good. It's letter C, guys.